Hi folks, I'm Dr. John Raymond Baker. I'm a chiropractic doctor in Longview, Texas. And today is Friday, and it's customary in the past for me to do a video on Friday. Today I might be ranting a little bit, but there's always a purpose for my rants, so please bear with me. And this rant is about getting your medical records. Now, to give you a little bit about my bona fides, my ability to talk on this subject, I've been a doctor in Texas since 1989, and at one point I had the top website as far as people in Texas looking for information on how to get their medical records. In fact, so many people were visiting my website, it was like #1 on Google, that I was regularly running out of my allotted bandwidth for the website I hosted it on, sometimes before the middle of the month. So finally I had to move it to a different server and try to make it less popular because I literally wasn't able to use it was the whole bandwidth for the whole month. So I wasn't able really to use my site very much because everybody was visiting my medical records website. So I've been a doctor for a while. I've dealt with hospitals, doctors' offices all across the United States, from California to Florida, Alaska to Texas, obviously. And so I know a little about the procedure. I know a little bit about how long it takes. Now, there's a healthcare facility in Tyler that commonly used to be called the Lung Hospital. Now it's called the University of Texas Healthcare Center at Tyler, obviously associated with UT Health Center organization, which is associated with the University of Texas. And I have found in the past that they were very nice as far as the doctors. When you take someone to the ER, the doctors are professional, they're cordial, just you get good treatment. That's been my experience. Others might have different experiences, but that's been my personal experience. Now, recently, a person that, for HIPAA reasons I'm not going to identify, wanted me to get their medical records. I normally take care of evaluating their health records and consulting with them about their health care. So as a matter of practice, I had them sign a document advising that they were cool with releasing those records to me, as well as sending over via fax on the 9th of August a request from my office that these records be provided to us via fax. And expecting, as is the normal practice and procedure of hospitals, to either provide it to me that day or the next day. Normally, you get your records by the second day, even if there are multiple pages. This was not to be. Now, let me tell you, and I think that this beside a rant, this video will have a valid purpose or valuable purpose for you if you're a healthcare customer that wants to get your medical records at some point. In general, the state of Texas says that you must do it in writing, and you have to answer 3 basic questions. What's being requested? Identify what records you're talking about. Where is it going? Who do we send these to? And why do you want them? And if you answer those, I'm sending to Dr. Joe Blow because Dr. Joe Blow is my healthcare provider, or he's the one that explains my records to me, or whatever. And Dr. Joe Blow wants it faxed to him at this number, or Dr. Joe Blow wants you to mail it or hand carry it, whatever. So, they're not onerous as far as the tripod of questions that you must answer. And we did that in writing with the patient signing it, and identified the law in the state of Texas, which happens to be in the Medical Practice Act, that mandates physicians, meaning MDs and DOs, as well as hospitals, adhere to both the timeline, which is 15 business days after they receive the valid request, and that they have to acknowledge that the patient has answered the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you don't do it in writing, they don't have to send you records. Now, they can charge you for your records. However, if another healthcare provider requests them, it is not customary. In fact, in some instances, as far as I believe in chiropractic, you're really forbidden to charge another healthcare provider for a fee for providing the records to them. But certainly it's not customary at all to try to squeeze money out of a fellow healthcare provider for giving them records on a patient of yours. Now, I want to give you the Medical Practice Act section. It's section 5.08, subsection K, that allows a patient or someone they designate on their behalf to obtain a copy of their records. And it says, I'm going to read this so I won't get it wrong. The physician shall furnish copies of medical records requested or a summary or narrative of the records unless the physician determines that access to the information will be harmful to the physical, mental, or emotional health of the patient. And the physician may delete confidential information about another person who has not consented to the release. Pardon me. The physician shall furnish, shall in the legalese here means will, mandated, the information within 15 business days after the receipt of the request, and reasonable fees for furnishing the information shall be paid by the patient or someone on their behalf. And again, with that caveat that it's not customary to charge another healthcare provider. Now, what happened with us is on the 9th of August 2013, we faxed the request, both ours and the patient's, to University of Texas Healthcare Center in Tyler, and they got them because we got a confirmation page, and we didn't get the records that day, the next day, in a few days, and we requested them again. In fact, I think we made 3 or 4 written faxed requests, and even had my employee calling the place and verifying that they in fact did receive it. And they did acknowledge they received it and they were going to get right on it, which they didn't do. So I took it on myself to up the ante a little bit, and I emailed both the president, Kirk Calhoun, I believe is his name, MD, of UTHC, and also to the chair of radiology, David Finlay, Finlay, received, and I sent it via Outlook with a return receipt thing, so it pops up, Dr. Baker has asked for you to acknowledge that you've gotten this email, and didn't get any answer nor any return receipt from either Dr. Finlay or Dr. Calhoun, which was somewhat problematic to me because I tend to answer my emails from other doctors. But anyway, this rocked along. I had to, spend time of time that my employee could be better served on other projects to keep her on top of getting this one patient's medical records. Well, eventually, I have an excellent employee. She called and they started asking her questions like, why do you want it? Who's Dr. Baker? Is he going to treat her in the next 2 days? Which is another damn business. As long as you answer those questions mandated under the Texas Medical Practice Act, you don't have to tell them who you are, what you eat for breakfast, do you play tiddlywinks, whatever. And they were inappropriate questions. And eventually my employee contacted the supervisor of medical records. Her name is Christy Atwood. And I have her email address in case you ever have to contact her. It's Christy, Kristie, kind of like Krispy Kremes, but a T instead of a P. Atwood, A-T, Wood, at UTHCT, University of Texas Healthcare, Tyler, .edu, because University of Texas is a university and they have that edu for educational institution. So it's Christy Atwood at uthct.edu. And I want to say that it's becoming widespread nowadays for email addresses to be first name dot last name at whatever the mail server is for that company. So they're conforming to what's becoming the standard protocol for email naming. So she advised that she was going to take the matter in her own hands, and props to Ms. Atwood. She actually did that and faxed it to us the same day that she received the voicemail. Now, I wrote her an email, and I had concerns about the person that I thought was named Jackie because I talked to my employee, but their actual name is Frankie, Frankie, much like the song Frankie and Johnny. If you're old enough like I am, you might remember that song, which is a popular song in a while. Anyway, her name was Frankie, and I expressed to Miss Christy Atwood that I felt it was inappropriate and Miss Frankie needed more training, both in terms of the laws of the state of Texas and in professionalism. She, in an email to me, and I don't feel like it was something that's that personal because it was a business matter, said that Frankie was trying to determine that expedite